Hey, okay, so it's week 7, second lecture of the week, and we're talking about liquefied petroleum gas this week. So I just want to dive in and see where we are on the discussion. Just going to post something here. So a little research and see. Just basically want to see what the market prevalence is of LPG. Make this a little bit bigger. So what I'm looking for, do a little market research and see what the prevalence is of LPG in the U.S. There we go. So go ahead and do that for week 7. Thanks. Wrap it up before we get into week 8. And I also wanted to take a little peek ahead. So we're 5 weeks out from the term paper. So let me just tell you a little bit about that. I know it's kind of down here, but I want to bring this to your attention so you're not caught off guard. Term paper guidelines. Okay. And again, this says fall 2015, but it's I don't have the original, but this is the same for fall 2016. So self-directed field trip or experiment and term paper guidelines. Okay, so independent initiative of the students. This is something that you'll do on your own. You can either take a field trip to a facility or compose and conduct an experiment. Groups of students are encouraged to join together for a coordinated field trip to a facility so that they are not asked to give multiple tours. Tour groups may share notes, but prepare your reports individually. Okay. So for the field trip option, consider organizing your paper around the following sections. Where did you go? When it happened and for how long? Let us know what type of process is happening there, and then who it was you interviewed or talked to. Okay. So any pre-processing steps? So let's just say, for example, you're going to go somewhere that's making biofuels, and let's just say you go into the back, and I know if you go into the back of Lomason, there's a giant dumpster of grease. So for one example, you could contact who is taking and processing that for biofuels, and the pre-processing, for example, would just be filter the solids out of it. You know, maybe a chicken bone got in or whatever, or a French fry. That might be one. Qualitative mass balance. So what are the, just like we've been doing with all the problems, how many tons, how many gallons are going in. Same thing with the energy balance. So what's the energy density of the fuel being used, and then write down the chemistry. If you're dealing with gases, let's see that. If it's liquids, if it's again, if you're doing biodiesel, you can go back into the textbook and look at the chemical formulas for those. And then, of course, there's going to be some kind of product separation, purification, more than likely. If they're there, you need to describe what those are. Let us know what the feedstocks are, what's actually going in, and how they're being stored. Let us know if it's a batch process, just one batch goes in, is cooked and is done, or if it's a continuous feed, some material streams coming in, something else is coming out, or some hybrid. Feedstock handling devices, are there augers, are there screws, are there conveyor belts, what have you. Heating and cooling, maybe what you're going after is just being used for heating or cooling instead of transportation, and then also separation or purification. So what's going on to separate the gases. What's the operation? How is this being controlled? Process conditions, temperatures and pressures, so be quantitative there. Who is there to take care of it? And then what kind of repair and maintenance issues are going on? And that's true of any technology, so there you go. Let us know what the capital costs were for the system, also what it's taking to operate and maintain, and then the feedstock costs. And then finally, what are the values? Are you making money on this? So take some pictures, do some drawings, and then your references. Okay, so that's if you're going to go and do a field trip. Field trips that I would consider, I'll just go through a few here. One would be Hull's Dairy. They're right here in Montana. You can go and talk to them. Pretty innovative operation. Right there, there's their anaerobic digester, so you can make that as one. Another one would be Montana. Landfill gas would be another one. So the Flathead County landfill would be another one. Go up and visit the facility there. Would be another good place to go visit. Here's another one. Oh man, thanks. Algae Aquaculture Technologies is another one. They're right up in Whitefish. So those are three that come to mind. A fourth one would be I'll just zoom in. I might even be able to find it on Google Maps. We're just looking at possible field trips for alternative fuels for the report. So if I click on my map here, I think we already determined that the biofuels group that's labeled there at the cash register at the university is now no longer active. But I'm going to dive.
Wasn't that with Bob, that biofuels?
It's not. No, it's not Bob. I guess there's two Northwest Biofuels. To my knowledge, I actually texted Bob and asked him about it. He hasn't gotten back to me. Okay, so here's the food zoo. So there is a lot of biomass coming out of the food zoo. I think they do a pretty good job of composting there. I don't know how old this. Yeah, so here's the gardens.
Here's the greenhouse I built.
You built the greenhouse?
Me and Larry Nesky, yeah.
Nice. Didn't know that.
Yeah, me and Larry Nesky built the greenhouse. That's where I did my internship for journalism.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Yeah, so I think one of these bins back here is the grease pit.
Yeah, and it's the one that's down to go down. It's the one on the bottom left there.
This guy right here?
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. So right in back is the grease pit. So what I did, I just gave 4 different possibilities for an alternative fuels field trip. One would be to go Hull's Dairy, see what they're up to. Algae Aquaculture and Whitefish is another one. The Flathead Valley Landfill is a third. And then just tracking down whomever is taking this grease is a fourth one. Those are sort of, industrial scale alternative fuels.
I have a friend over in Williston, Idaho, that I grew up with, and he wanted somebody to take his biodiesel fuel pickups, and I was saying, well, what do you want for him?
Yeah.
Pretty much it's just an FFB. It's a diesel engine.
Mm-hmm.
And in the pickup truck, he goes, oh no, they're not. It's not the pickup itself. It's the fuel pickup from like the restaurants and all of that other stuff. But he does his own little emulsification in the basement, I guess.
Yep,
I was really impressed,
yeah.
because I didn't think he was that much into it, but he,
Well,
I mean, he
yeah,
drives a concrete truck every day and then goes home and does his biofilm all night.
yeah, and that's why I want to look into the red dye. Oh, and one other option, if you like, I'm just going to throw this as another one. You can visit it. I mean, we do have the hydrogen fueling station still here, so that's another one. It's not up and running, but I can give you all the specs on it. So if that's something, if you're interested in hydrogen, you can do that for your project as well.
It'd be nice to convert it onto a semi-trailer,
I know it would.
pull it off of that big concrete slab that it's got. You're gonna have to ground it out every time you use it, I think, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So let's look at this. This is a big deal. I've talked about people making their own diesel. So dyed diesel fuel is regular diesel fuel
It's just dying.
that has red dye in it. This is done to identify the fuel as non-taxed and to help enforcement officials easily identify it. Dyed diesel fuels for off-road use only. Examples include farm equipment
Yeah.
and home heating. Okay. When you fill your vehicle with undyed, at the pump, state and federal taxes are included. These taxes are needed to use to help fund construction and maintenance of the road. Dyed diesel, okay. Using untaxed dyed diesel in a licensed vehicle violates Montana's law. Interesting. Okay, so that's a little, I mean, I guess it's a little counterintuitive to me. I'm just wondering why, hey, I made my own red dye diesel, and I'm just going to volunteer some taxes so that I can use the roads. I mean, I see the point, is that I don't want you using Montana roads to drive on with untaxed fuel, but on the other hand,
Well, if you made your own diesel, you wouldn't put the dye in it, would you?
you have to.
You have to?
Well, yes. I mean, unless you're a commercial provider. That's the deal.
So in other words, I see why you're saying that's counterintuitive, but it's not counterintuitive, it's counterproductive towards where we're trying to
Yeah,
migrate
well,
everything in
yeah,
personally.
yeah.
So, I mean, you could obviously, state, these are oils that are being gathered from food products, and the taxes on those oils have already been paid.
Well, so here you go. So I guess if you're,
Let's read that.
so I guess that's the point. If you're going to make your own diesel and sell it, you're just gonna have to let the state know, I'm making a fuel, here, I'm gonna pay my taxes, and I'm not gonna put any dye in it. I think the whole point is, like, if I'm gonna make the fuel and I'm not gonna pay any, then I'm compelled to put the red dye in it, and sorry, but you can't drive it on the road. So it's a financial marker, is all it is.
I just think you could argue that point.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense.
$1,000 civil penalty
Well, yeah.
for red dye diesel.
Okay, so that's that. And so all I want to do, I want to cover the projects, so you're not getting caught off guard.
Those two.
Midnight, just before Thanksgiving. So we got, so get out there here in the next week or two. And like I said, also, I'm going to throw another topic out for this week. Let me just, I'll turn my editing on. Actually, no, I'm just gonna use the announcements for that. There we go, week 7 announcements. Add a new discussion.
to go down, I'll probably do mine, go ahead.
I'm listening.
I'll probably do my field trip down to Holst area, get hold of I've been down there.
Dan? Yeah, Dan's a good guy.
Yeah, but I want, because I think we could probably do it right here. I'm thinking that if I take and, I'll have to modify it, but I'm just gonna do it with a balloon. I wanna blow up the balloon and the end of it, blow up the balloon with decomposition gases, the gases that is coming out of his anaerobic digester. And I want to put it through like a silver dollar sized dielectric substrate covered with graphene on the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the graphene is supposed to, and on copper, it's supposed to allow only water to go through it.
Okay.
So it'll just be the H2O that comes through the copper substrate. I don't know how it comes through, whether it goes through the graphene and leaks out the bottom between the copper and the graphene, or if it actually goes through the copper, but I couldn't see it going through the copper. So, it's gotta have something there, so I'll have to do a little bit more research on it. But I think if you just, blow up a balloon like a blivet,
Yeah.
and that balloon, the pressure would just use the pressure to push it out, push everything that would actually come out. So I want to do I think it'd be spectrometry.
Mass spec on the gas, is that what you're
Yeah,
thinking?
mass spec on the gas. The gas is in little cubits, so I want